Live. Hi, everybody. My name is Lizzie Langston, and I want you to know if you've been following me or you're new here, I just titled my publication today. I've thought long and hard about it. It is called The Kitchen and the Cosmos. And it is an exploration continuing forevermore of the nature of being a divine cosmic being in a human form. And so we explore the ways that when you are regulated in your nervous system, it becomes a bridge to expand past just being human and into your cosmic senses. I am a psychic medium. I was trained as a life coach, operate as a medium. I have 4 children. I have flashbacks and complex PTSD from childhood. So I am just entering midlife in deep exploration of it all. And my favorite word is and. Holding both, I believe, is a lot of times all that is needed because this existence is so complex. So today I wanted to, speaking of complexity, I wanted to talk about a question that I just heard somebody ask. I run a networking group. It's called the Nova Phoenix. It's a branch of the Nova Global. And I run this chapter twice a month. In our most recent meeting, somebody asked a question. She was a newcomer, a visitor, and her question was so good, it stopped the room. And I was mid presentation, and it was one of those moments where I was like, I've got to just go with this. And it was so apropos to the moment that we are all in collectively, where we are straddling the old way of doing things and a new way of doing things, where we are living in a world that was created at a lower consciousness than we are now inhabiting. And so we are all visionaries right now. We are birthing a new reality, whatever that looks like for you and whatever place in that journey you are. I really believe that we need you to, and we all are birthing the new world, birthing a new way. And with that comes being and existing in higher consciousness. And so my work, Threshold Keepers, which I can talk about at the end, that's where we upgrade our consciousness on purpose through the psyche's death and rebirth cycle and guided journeys to heal the psyche. And I'll talk more about that. But in today's conversation, I wanted to touch on this question that this girl asked. And so the question was, how do I try and be a person that creates a better world and follow the inner calling that I feel to, have a creative business and maybe not have such a corporate type job or, whatever that looks like. Some people it's traveling, some people it's starting a Substack and writing, but how do I answer the call to the higher consciousness and to birth a new reality while also not running out of money, while also not betraying my needs of social acceptance and safety as a human? How do I walk that gap between the reality I want to participate in, the reality I want to see, right? And the one that I'm in? I have asked this same question. So I live in Mesa, Arizona. I have 4 kids and a dog and a bunny and a husband. I've been married for almost 14 years. I grew up Mormon. I had a spiritual awakening that turned into a psychic awakening where I was able to see, hear, and feel spirit. And then also able to connect to and call forth and also just receive information, visitation from all sorts of spirit visitors. And it sounds crazy, but it's actually a thing, this spontaneous midlife psychic awakening. And so that was 2020 and now it's 2026. So in the span of 6 years, I deconstructed religion, Mormonism, and found out a lot that I never really wanted to know because it would have torn up my world, which it did, about modern Christianity and the roots of it and all that was buried about some of the ways to be in connection with the cosmic nature of each of us. And on that journey, I have felt this deep inner stirring to participate in the birthing of a new world. And also, we live in the suburbs, and I am surrounded by people who are actually still participating in the religion that I chose to leave. I have an extended family that's in it. And so I have real work on my plate of being human, if you will. I cannot just spiritual bypass, and nor do I think any of us really should. I think there's a time and a place to be in the cosmos and have these incredible experiences. But how do we navigate the two realms? And also, how do we navigate the two worlds? The one that we're living in, again, that's lower consciousness, and the one we're trying to create. And so I actually wanted to get what I think is practical, but sometimes the practical is the spiritual, right? My newsletter is called The Kitchen and the Cosmos because, again, my favorite word, and we need both. I actually have a client who got the word and tattooed on her body because it was such a profound learning for her of holding both, right? When our nervous system is dysregulated, we want to run away and go to Costa Rica and live on a farm and never look back, which I'm not even saying is wrong, but we need to also be grounded, right? And be practical too. And then on the flip side, sometimes we can get so burrowed down in survival that we're not actually staying in touch with our inner stirring and our vision and our calling. Now, my program, Threshold Keepers, right, which I co-run with Holly, she's my sister in spirit. That is a place where if people are really trying to find the piece of a new reality that is living within them that nobody else can birth, that nobody else can bring forward. And they have felt it around them. Maybe they felt it in their crown. Maybe they feel it in their heart. Maybe they feel a whispering that kind of taps at the back of their throat. That's like a little animal in a cage wanting to be left out or let out. If that's you, you'll want to come check out Threshold Keepers and I'll put the links below. But for today, just your everyday answer to this question, how do we bridge the both? The future we want to have and the way that we are, and surviving and meeting our needs in our nervous system and our bank account. So this is where I want to share that what I realized, and I have a whole article on this in my Substack, so you can check it out because the title is The Nervous System is the Bridge. And whether or not you're familiar with nervous system work, I want you to put off to one side what you think you know about the nervous system. And I want you to play with this idea that the nervous system is the bridge between, it is where your energetic body meets your physical body. And it's where there's all these little connection points, your hormonal glands and the chakras that link your cosmic body with your human body. So if you are a cosmic being in a human body and you are not paying attention to the state of your nervous system, then it is harder to have a healthy balance between the two. So what does it mean to pay attention to the state of your nervous system? And I could literally talk about this for 2 hours. I'm just trying to do like a quick 20-minute video. So I'll give you an intro. There is an amazing article that I wrote called Emotional Flashbacks that if you don't know what those are, you need to read this article. A lot of therapists don't even know what these are. This is the edge of the edge of the edge of trauma-informed somatic study, emotional flashbacks, complex trauma. But essentially, our nervous system, right? Again, let's just put aside to 1 minute everything we think we know because it has become a little bit of a trendified word. And so if your ego is too tight around this concept of the nervous system, nothing new is going to come through right now. So let the ego just sit right there. The nervous system is essentially the dial in your physicality that decides how much access you have to safety. It decides if there's threat or not threat. If there is threat, you're not going to feel safe. You're not going to have access to safety. And that's for a reason. It's to help you go fight and run away and survive. If you do feel safe, then you will have access to so much more pleasure. And also what I believe is when you feel deeply safe in your body, that doesn't necessarily mean calm, right? Okay. But when you feel really safe and regulated in your body, that is when your senses of hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, all of your senses can actually go from human to psychic. You can go from just hearing to hearing the beyond. Now, it doesn't happen in an instant and you cannot force it, but if there is a will, there is a way. That's kind of what I believe. And I'm not here to say that every single human, cosmic being in human form, every single Earth School student on this planet is supposed to pop into their psychic abilities. But what I will say is that if you are a human who wants to pull the divine that you have access to in you, in your soul, in your highest self through your body to make the planet a better place, you're going to need to understand your nervous system's signals of when you feel safe or not. And by the way, it's not just safe or not, it's actually a whole entire spectrum. So I approach nervous system work as a psychic medium, as somebody who, most of the time, not all of the time, depending on how much in my body I am, how safe I feel. But when I am safe, I have access to the beyond. I can hear, I can channel, I can see, I can sense. I have written full songs and poems that have been dictated to me in my mind through guides or who knows what. And I don't actually like to put words to all of it because I like to keep it a mystery with a capital M because it's more fun that way. And let's not splatter our ego everywhere on the cosmicness in us. Okay. Um, but if you are somebody who craves to have a more meaningful spiritual existence, if you are living in the kitchen, but you want more cosmos, if you will, then come check us out. Come be with me and sit at the kitchen table where you can both eat breakfast and receive a complete, full, divine transmission. That's the goal. I want the and to be what you live in. Right? I want you every day to feel your cosmic self a little bit and also that human self. And by the way, people, again, we tend to take it to the extremes. Our relationship as humans with a nervous system that tends to be a bit jumpy when it comes to religion. By the way, I'm not teaching a religion. I'm post religion. Thank you very much. Been there, done that. But when it comes to spiritual things and even the beyond, we tend to get a little jumpy because, again, our ego attaches to form and the beyond, the cosmic in us is formless. And so in order to engage with the formless, your ego has to let up and sometimes even fully die. And so it might not always be available to you, but the Kitchen in the Cosmos is a place, it is a publication where we are going to constantly explore to help you walk that bridge of your nervous system to feel safety in your body as a tool and a bridge to the psychic, the cosmic, the mysterious that is available to you as a divine being having a human experience. So I hope you'll come check us out, come subscribe, stay a while, pull up a chair. And if you have questions for me, I wanted to tell you what my paid subscribers get because I think that's important. We need to know if we feel drawn to something, I want you to know what the next level could be. So one of my superpowers, and I discovered this a couple years into my psychic awakening as I was fusing and melding my history of 7 years of life coaching and trauma-informed education with being a medium. I allowed my sessions. I had this one awesome client whose name is Hallie, and she became my business partner later. The whole other story. But she was someone who really wanted me to hold both and the life coach Lizzie and the emerging something else medium. And so I started with her, and it's never stopped since, channeling in real time guided journeys where I hold open the threshold between you're still conscious, but we invite your unconscious parts, your banished parts, your repressed parts, the parts of you that are hiding. We invite them to be engaged in the psyche while we are still conscious and to have a dialogue through symbolism, which is the way that's the language of the psyche. And so my paid subscribers get a free, it's about 35 minutes of a live guided journey every month. It then gets recorded and you have access to the recording. And so it's experiential. I want to walk you. I am a threshold. I want to walk you in between the realms, not to freak you out, but to give you opportunity to be in touch with your higher self and give your cosmic self a moment to breathe, right? Because sometimes that can be hard in our daily life. And then we also do a Kitchen and Cosmos fireside chat every month so we've got the guided journey live each month that's recorded. And then we also, I was just looking at my dead plants. Hi. We also do our Kitchen and Cosmos discussions where we're talking about life in the kitchen, not just the kitchen. Okay. We are more feminist than just the kitchen. All right. But where we're talking about I was going to say domestic, but it's not just domestic. It's just the 3D, the human life stuff, financial regulation, the practical stuff, marriage, parenting, your relationship with your sister-in-law, your relationship to your body. It's the issues we come up against in our humanity. And also developing our psychic abilities, talking about and discussing the beyond, sharing stories around the fire, okay, of our Zoom room. Maybe I will have a fire. I don't know. I have a fire pit. It's great. And so that's what you can expect is the two worlds always coming together so that we do less swinging to one or the other and daydreaming about the one while living in the other and daydreaming about the other while living in the one. I have done all that. Okay. Like we sold everything and lived in Costa Rica. I have been deep in the cosmic energy and I've also been a muggle in the dysregulation that trauma creates in my nervous system and trapped in basically a suffocated soul, just the humanity. And my passion and my desire is to really, again, open that pathway between the two and leave it open the door to the threshold between the two realms, the two worlds. So welcome to the Kitchen in the Cosmos. I'm so glad you're here. I'll put any links to any articles I mentioned in the links below. And I hope you check us out. Subscribe. Stay around. Okay. Bye.